Rick, that last shot, Pascal had patience, could have passed, the poise to make it. What impressed you about the way he handled all that and ultimately made it, of course?
Well, this is why you have max players to put their ball in their hands in those kinds of situations, knowing that they can not only get a shot, but they can make those shots and make difficult shots. He had a double team coming at him, and it was at the point where had he passed it, we probably wouldn't have got the shot off. And so he just changed the angle a little bit, changed the geometry of the arc a little bit, and banged it in. And point one, you can't ask for much more than that.
You guys only had, I think, 2 points the first 6 minutes of the fourth. What did it take to turn things around for that final stretch to get over the hump and win?
Yeah, it was a clunky game. It just didn't have a lot of rhythm. But that's one of the characteristics of how we got to play right now. We were able to keep Chicago, who's a team averaging 120 points or whatever they're averaging, to 101. And some of it is just the type of tempo that we need to play at right now. And so, there can be droughts no matter what your style. When we were putting up 150 points 2 years ago, we'd have droughts and we'd only score 115. But right now we're in a different reality, and so we've got to keep adjusting, and the adjustments happen literally every day. There's little things that we're changing that are necessary, et cetera.
One guy who suggested Isaiah Jackson with these bench groups the last 2 games, very productive again from him. What have you liked about what he's done these last 2 games with that new group he's been playing with a little bit more?
Well, as time is going along here, you can see Isaiah getting his natural conditioning back. He's getting a guy like him who's not an outside shooter is still a rhythm player. There's still a rhythm to his game, and so reconnecting him with the team and also doing so, considering the adjustments we've had to make as a team. He's been terrific, and he's picked up on things. And late clock, he's generated a lot of good stuff for us, certainly throughout the last couple of games. And he's just one of our warriors, man. He's a fighter.
I think you mentioned just the defense. I mean, I think you guys went from the 451 mark to, I think, that Trey Jones bucket off the goaltend with like 6-7 seconds left. That's when that big of a stretch without giving up a field goal. I mean, just what stood out to you about the way you guys just hunkered down defensively in that stretch when you absolutely had to have it?
Well, McConnell, Nemhard, Matherin, these guys did a great job defensively tonight. Matherin's defense has taken a real step forward this year. He's taken matchups. He did a really great job on Giddey tonight during a lot of these periods. He guarded the heck out of McCollum last night. And so it's just part of the growth process. And so I thought that was obviously a big key. Huff was in the right place at the right time. He was a factor at the rim. The goaltending that was overturned was obviously an enormous play. And so, the crowd got into it, a lot of great things. TJ coming back into the game, he gave us some juice. And so, we're still in adjustment mode. But there's some good things happening, and we got to get some rest tomorrow, and then we got Cleveland coming back in here on Monday.
I wanted to ask you about that goaltend. I guess how and when did you know that you were going to get it? Basically, I mean, did you get a good look at it live? Did you hear from the bench? Did you hear from Jay? I mean, what told you that you were going to be able to get that one?
I thought in real time that there was a good chance it wasn't a goaltend. I guess, and in the last 2 minutes, these are automatic reviews. So, look, it was what it was. It wasn't a goaltend. We had possession of the ball when it came off the rim. Pascal had it, And so, that put us in position, so it was a huge play, and obviously this is a very good rule. And now with the direct assist coming out of Sea Caucus, they can make a quick call on this, and you're not waiting all day for looking at a bunch of different angles. They have the technology to make a quick call, yes or no, and then you move on.
To go back to Pascal, I mean, just considering everything you just said about him last night, about just how much he's you continue to give your leadership and fought the way you want to see a veteran fight through this. Just how nice was it to see him have a moment like he got to have making that shot?
So deserved, so well deserved. He's the ultimate professional, and he's been upbeat. He's been, we talked about all this last night. He's just been tremendous. And when we get in rough spots where we maybe hit some offensive droughts or have some defensive mistakes, he's very encouraging with the younger guys. And that's it makes such a big difference for us.
Jay Huff had the first 14 points of the game for you guys. How much did him hitting those shots open up the offense for you?
Yeah, it certainly did, and it's a great start. Got the crowd into it. It didn't take him long to get the fifth one up, which that's good. That's good. It was a good open look. But look, it speaks to the comfort level that he's getting playing with our guys. That he's developing. Living in Indianapolis. Our fans, he and his wife, they're in a new environment, a new team, different style than he played last year. And so it's all good stuff. And right now, he and Isaiah are both doing a terrific job. And we have lineup fluidity. I've talked to the team about it. Last couple of games Jay started, but we don't have an etched in stone starting lineup, and our guys have been great about that.
To go back on the last play, was it the shot that you wanted and drawn, or was it?
Yeah, it was the shot I wanted.
All right. And any other option on the system, or was just Pascal ISO?
Yeah, I mean, shoot it and have the red light go off with the balls in the air would be the only other thing, But hey, 0.1 seconds, they were out of timeouts. So, really, as I said, there's not a whole lot more you can ask for. But that was really an amazingly difficult shot that he made look relatively easy.
Two defenders on you. You got the ISO at the top of the key. What were you looking for through all that as you went through your progressions for the shot?
Yeah. Well, I think as the game was going second half, I thought I missed a lot of just easy layups and easy shots that I feel like I usually butter for me. So I just figured shots was gonna start going in. So I got a little bit of rhythm the last 4 minutes, made a couple of shots. So on that play, I mean, I knew I was getting the ball. I figured maybe they would try to double a little bit. Just got to the open spot. Pump fake. That shot, I probably made that on my brother 1,000 times in the summer, So, we work on that. Freeze fake and let it go. At that point, it's just just trust the instincts and trust whatever you've been working on, and it always feels good to get that last shot in, and so it was a good moment.
After you guys have had some heartbreakers at the buzzer this season, including the plays you had in Toronto just a couple days ago, how did it feel to be on the right side?
Yeah, no, it definitely felt good. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought about that. I was like, man, I just probably had a couple of those nights, I was just thinking about that shot, what I could have done better, how I could have guarded it better and things like that. So you definitely don't want to be on that side of it. So it felt good to be on the right side this time. And yeah, I don't think I've had these opportunities a lot, taking the last shot, at this point, especially since I've been in Indiana. So it felt good to, have the last shot and just kind of I think at that point it's at the end of the day, you go home thinking that, I did what I was supposed to do, makes all misses. I thought about passing it to Ben for a second, 2 seconds, but that thought quickly erased in my mind. so yeah, it felt good. It felt good to get it up there.
I guess to stick on that, when you get both defenders to jump, like what goes through your mind at that point? Basically, how's the clock kind of ticking in your head there? Like what's just that decision moment?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think obviously you don't want to leave like time on the clock. That's mostly what you think about, and like I said, like I dialed this thing like in my head, like freeze fake shot. Like I've done that a million times. So it felt good that he didn't press up on me. So it gave me still the space to just get my shot up, and I think I can get that shot up against a lot of people. So it was just a moment of just like pump fake, have the open spot and just let it fly.
For the most part, you guys struggled to make shots in that fourth, but you got a stretch of, I think, from the 4:51 mark to like 6-7 seconds left that you didn't give up I don't know if you gave up a point, you didn't give up a field goal. What did it take just for you guys collectively to dial it up defensively during that stretch?
Yeah, I mean, they're a tough team to guard. They play fast. They have guards that, that can get to the paint. So it's a tough, like, in transition, the first 8 seconds, like, they want to get to the rim. They want to attack you. So I thought, we kind of focused in at that last, like, whatever minutes. Like, it was just everybody down, playing together, rotation, like, all that was on point. And that's what we're going to need. I said that last time. It's like, obviously we want our offense to be better, but, if we dialed in on our defense and we do the right things and we commit to that part of the game, I think it's going to give us a lot more chances to win games. And, the coaching staff, like Jim, Jenny, like they've been on us about it, and the guys are responding. And I think that's what it's going to take. Like we can't look at the record. We can't look at anything. You can control every single night coming in, looking at the game plan, following the game plan, playing hard, and just giving it your all and focusing on that defensive event, because that's what we can control. The rest of it, it is what it is. You're going to make shots. You're going to miss shots. But I think our effort, like, we can control that, and I think we've been doing that a little bit more this time.
For a lot of that stretch, I think the lineup is you, Drew, Ben, TJ, and Jay. What did you like about just how that group operated together? Obviously, there's a lot of experience,
right?
Outside of Jay with you guys, you guys have been through a lot together.
Yeah.
Just what makes that group work well together?
No, it's good. Everyone, like Ben, like TJ, Drew. Obviously we know what Drew can do in defense. Ben is dialed in. Like he wants to. He's making the effort. TJ, we know how scrappy he is. And then we have Jay can protect the rim for us. So myself, I'm trying to every day I'm out there with Jenny every single day, like trying to see how we can get better, and like she's on me about it, and I appreciate it, and I want to continue to get better, and I want to be that person that can bring that energy for us too, like on both ends of the floor. So I think when we all dialed in and everyone is just talking and getting through screens and things like that, like it's going to be hard for teams to score, and especially if we don't get them like easy points in transition.
What have you guys learned about how to use I guess, Jay as a weapon around the rim? And I guess how big is that one that he gets that gets overturned? It's called a goaltend on the floor, and you guys get that one back. How big was that one in particular?
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, he's a shot blocker. That's what he does. Sometimes like we have a little back and forth because I'm like, I feel like I was good on my man. He didn't need to come help, but shot blockers, we gotta trust his judgment. And he's what they say he's the leading block in the NBA. Yeah, so go ahead, man. Get all of that out of there. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna actually say, but.
Well, on the offensive end with Jay, how do you feel like him being a 3-point spacer has really opened up the offense for you guys, especially hitting the first 14 points of the game tonight?
Yeah, he was hot. And I think it feels good when you have that stretch big, someone that can be a threat out there on the 3-point line. Like it definitely opens up the floor for us. And if you can knock down those shots, like again, we get harder to guard as a team. So it feels good. We just gotta continue to trust him, and he has to continue to have that confidence and let it fly. And we gonna live with the results.
Pascal, à quel point ça fait plaisir de prendre ce dernier tir, de le mettre et d'offrir cette victoire? Il n'y en a pas eu beaucoup cette saison. Mais toi, personnellement, qu'est-ce que ça te fait de pouvoir offrir cette victoire à Indiana?
Ouais, ça fait plaisir. Comme j'ai dit en anglais, après le match qu'on a eu à Toronto, c'est quelque chose que tu as dans la tête. Et de pouvoir venir à ce moment-ci, prendre le dernier tir, le mettre. Alors, je pense qu'en tant que basketteur, on rêve tous de ça. Et dans cette saison particulière pour nous qui, à ce moment, est compliquée, donc toute la positivité et tout ce qu'on peut avoir de positif et de bonne humeur pour l'équipe, je pense que ça nous aide. Et ouais, ça fait plaisir que je puisse mettre ce tir. Et on espère que ça nous aide à pouvoir continuer ça un peu et gagner un peu plus de matchs.
Une autre question.
Your perspective on Pascal's final shot and the decisions he had to go through to even get that off with two coming at him.
I had a pretty good view of it. It was a great shot. A tough shot, but we've seen him make those a million times. We trust him to shoot it, and he got it done.
Your overturned goaltend block late in the game. Did you know right away that you thought it was a block?
If it wasn't overturned, I was going to be upset. Yeah, that one felt obvious to me. But, I mean, they made the right call, and they figured it out.
You had some important stops on Vucevic, too, in the final minutes. I think they only made one shot in the last 5 minutes of the game. What did it take for you guys to summon something more defensively after the game kind of got away from you guys late there?
Yeah, I think we saw it, like you said, get away from us a little bit, and we just needed to tighten up a little. So we, did what we needed to do.
How did that heater feel for you early in the game?
I barely remember any of it, if I'm being completely honest with you. It's one of those situations you don't think much. Caffeine is kicking in, and just let it fly.
Is this a custom-made shirt or a Harry Potter
This
product?
is courtesy of wifey. She bought it for me at the Harry Potter store in New York. Somebody did ask me if it was my own brand, but alas, it is not. But I'm quite proud of it.
Wanted to go back to just the closing stretch for you guys, and it coincides with the stretch where you're not making a lot of shots. I think you guys were 0 of 10 from 3 in the fourth, and yeah, field wasn't a whole lot better. I mean, just what does it take to additionally to ratchet it up when when you need to get stops because the shots aren't going the way that you want them to?
We got to learn how to win ugly, I guess. It's the type of game, like you said, some shots weren't falling at different times, and we grind it out, find a way. I think defensively, that's just kind of become our staple, our trademark, and we gotta rely on that. Shots will fall or not fall, but if our defense is solid, then we'll be all right.
Just how much growth have you seen in this group in a situation like that in a short amount of time?
Yeah, I mean, I think we always knew that we were better than we were playing, which was the most frustrating part of it. It's one thing if we we don't have a lot of confidence that we're a good team. We knew we were a good team. There were frustrating injuries and just trying to get a rhythm, figure out changes that needed to be made, but we knew that we were going to get there. So,
what'd you like about just the group that you closed with? I mean, it's you, TJ, Drew, Ben, and Pascal. I mean, obviously that's a group that hasn't had a ton of minutes together in general, but a lot of guys that have had played in some big basketball games. And just what do you think went well in terms of creating a cohesion?
Those guys specifically have played in some big basketball games. They played in the finals last year, so I got a lot of faith in them. I take it as a big compliment that they had the faith in me to leave me in at that time. It's a fun group to play with.
Coach talked about how you've just become a little bit more comfortable with this group and the offense you guys are running. How have you felt like you've adjusted, especially now that you've started the last 2 games with this group?
Yeah, like Coach said, it took a little bit of time. I think we just needed to figure out just what exactly our offense was going to look like, and I think we're kind of getting a better sense of that now. And the way that we've all adjusted, we've figured out how to use me, how to use Isaiah, how to use Tony. Just the way that games go, I think we've kind of realized, or we figured out spacing, we figured out a lot of other things. So.
Rick spoke about kind of the Pascal's leadership, and that he was just happy for him to hit that game winner today. But can you speak on kind of the teammate that Pascal is and the impact that his leadership has on this locker room?
Yeah, I mean, he's been one of the guys I think most frustrated with losing. Obviously, he's a winner. He's been in some big games. He's won a championship. So I think losing is really frustrating for a guy like that who's been in the league this long. So to see him, able to figure out how to win us that game, I think was big. And I think, it's a testament to him, like you said, and testament to his leadership this year.